Okay, guys, so what I need you guys to do is to open up a Word document. And hi to people in the video. I'm actually recording this in front of a live studio audience, okay? So let's go ahead and open up a Word document, and I'm going to share my screen so that way we can all look at the same thing. Okay, so here we are, sharing the screen. You want to open up a Word document. Again, you can probably do something similar with Google Docs, but I'm not gonna talk about Google Docs. We're technically a Microsoft campus because everything is Microsoft on this campus. Everything is like Word and Teams. So I will do it that way. I'm pretty sure you can do it this almost exactly the same way on Google Docs though, okay? So what you wanna do is create a grid. You do not have to put a heading and a title to this, because when you submit it online, it's going to give your name anyway. And also you probably need that space, okay? So what you're going to do here is kind of think about how many blocks you're going to need. So for this assignment, what are you being asked to write about for the story grid? Can somebody bring up the assignment sheet? Yes.
Character, plot, setting, point of view, argument.
Are you asked to write about all of them or just one of them?
Oh,
Are you sure?
I hope so. Right.
Let's look at the assignment sheet. What does the assignment sheet say? Just character, right? And for the stories, what stories are we using?
Trash and death.
Right, we're doing 2 stories, 1 argument, 1 character. Eventually, we're going to do stories, not all the stories, but a couple of stories with all 5 of them. But we only really learned 1. We're still learning about point of view right now. So it's not fair to write about point of view or setting or plot because you haven't learned them yet. So we're just going to do character, which means we're going to need 2 blocks, 1 block each for the stories, and then 1 for characters. So that means you can either do it with story here, story A, story B, and character on top, or character on the side, and then the 2 stories next to each other. Either way is fine, however you want to organize it. So you know you only need a title for this one going this way. So that's at least 1 block, and titles for the stories going this way. So that's at least 2 blocks. Or if you're going to do them the other way, reverse them, okay? So I'm going to do them the other way. So I know I'm going to need 1 for the title. So I know I'm going to insert table. You see how I got there? You're going to hit insert, and then you're going to hit table. So I know that I'm going to need a title for the story, for the first story, a title for the second story. Yes? Then I'm going to need a block to talk about the characters in one story and in the other story. I know I'm going to need at least 4, right? When we get more in depth, when we have more than 1 element, like character and plot and everything, we're going to need a lot more going down. But right now, we just need those 4 because we're just going to talk about character. Make sense? Are you guys with me? Thumbs up if you are. Thumbs down if you're lost. Okay, great. So we're going to pick 2 by 2 table, hit insert, and there you are. Boom. Why I like this better than Excel is that these automatically expand and you don't have to really format them. With Excel, you have to format them and make sure they do a wraparound. Now, if you are well-versed in Excel, you're more than welcome to turn it in Excel. Just make sure it's a PDF. But right now, like I think this is the easiest way. So what's one of the stories we have to write about? Give me the name, please. Why did I know that was going to be first? Trash. All right, and pop it in there on the top. So we know that we're going to talk about the character element right there. We're just going to write it right there. What's the other story? Death constant beyond love. There you go. Do Do you see how I put them in quotations? Right. So every time you write about these stories, because they're short stories, they're always going to be in quotations. They are never in italics. They're never in italics and quotations. So whether you're writing about them in your story chart / grid, or you're writing about them in your paper or in your outline, it doesn't matter. They're always going to be in quotations, every story. Okay. That's just constant. And so right here, you're going to write about character. Now, what are some of the things we talked about in character?
Primary characters.
Primary characters, secondary characters. What else? Protagonist, antagonist. What else did we talk about? Goal, motivation, conflict. We also talked about character types, right? Hubris. And we talked about static characters. I need to see all that in here. All of that in here, right? So what I don't want to see is there are two characters, main characters in Trash, the narrator and Miss Emily. They both are traumatized. And then there was like a husband, and he's a secondary character. That's not what I want to see. I want to see a little bit more in depth. So you could say something along the lines of, in this story, and you don't have to name the story because we've already what? Named the story in the column, right? In this story, the protagonist, that can't spell because it's early. Thank you. Is, who you guys think is the protagonist? The narrator. You think it's the narrator. So we're going to put the narrator here because our friend here thinks it's the narrator. But if you think it's Miss Emily, put Miss Emily as the protagonist. All right. This is about you. This is not about like what you think I want. This is about how you are interpreting the story, right? Because how I'm interpreting the story is completely different how you guys are, I guarantee you, because it changes every semester for me, because I'm teaching it over and over, okay? So in the story, the protagonist is the unnamed narrator, right? So what do we know about it? See how I said her goal is this. Her motivation is this. Her conflict is blah, 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 blah. I'm going to expand this. So I'm not just going to list it. I'm going to expand it. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it, right? She is characterized by how she sees the world. She doesn't really take care of herself. She wants to feel included. Blah, 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 blah. Right? But that's just one character. We have another character. What's her name? Miss Emily. Are we going to call her the antagonist? Yes? Okay. And then we talk about her in the same way. It's also a hubris character. Meaning, blah, 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 blah. Right? You see how you're just literally writing about character? You're using everything that we learned, right? If you want to write about the husband / son, you can. If you want to add quotes, you can, right? This is also an opportunity to work out some things from your outline. Opportunity to do that. You'll do the same with death constant beyond love. Mhm. Right? And you go down that rabbit hole as well. This is starting to make sense now. This is kind of to keep this kind of all organized in your head. So when we get to the next story chart, which I think is like character, point of view, and plot, I think you have to do 3, but with different stories, you'll do the same. You'll say, okay, how many stories do I need? How many elements? So the stories will probably go on top or on the side, depending on how you want to do this. And then the elements. So you'll have, I think, 3 elements to do for next time, I believe. Don't quote me on that. Read the assignment sheet. 3 elements and maybe I think 2 stories, I think I put, right? And you get to choose which stories. So you'll have 3 of these or 4 of these, right? Because the first one is the story, list the story, or you list the thing, the element, and then you go down this way. Do you see how this already like formats it and expands it already? So you don't have to expand it in Excel. It's a little messy in Excel, which is why I prefer this. Now, when you're done, first of all, you should be saving all the time because technology, right? And you probably should be saving on your OneDrive. Everybody gets a OneDrive and you have it connected to your Lone Star, my.lonestar.edu email, okay? So when you save it, I would personally save this as a PDF. I would, bless you. I would label it how you would label it. I'm gonna go story chart 1. File format, save it as a PDF. Why would I suggest you save it as a PDF? Yeah, because sometimes like the formatting gets wonky, right? A PDF literally is, I'm going to take it a snapshot of this, which means the format is not going to move. What is there is there. What is meant to be there is meant to be there. So you save it as a PDF, and that's what you upload onto D2L. Do we have any questions, comments, concerns? Very happy that I showed you how to do this. Okay. It's a lot easier than how I have it with the original video, because this is just, I think it's just easier. Any other thoughts, questions, ideas? Do you know what to write? Do you know how to approach it? Does it seem hard? Don't think your way out of it. Just do the things. Okay. Bye, people at home.